Hello, everyone. My name is Professor Pixel here once again on Madman with a Box. But let's go ahead and meet my co-hosts before we get into this week's news. First to my side, as always, Jimmy.
What's going on, man? Sorry I was late. I was at a family birthday. I've got 7 cousins in the small town I live at. So it's like if I'm not there, they know.
You were supposed to say hello, Jimmy. Not the cold open. If we go down there, we can see the man from down under. That's right. The man from down under, hey, Aussie Chris. That's
hello. Right. G'day. Hello there. Insert Obi-Wan meme.
I love that. And if we look down there, this man needs two hellos because it's a puppet and it's a Landry. Say hello.
Does this mean since there's 2 of you now, we're going to get twice as many ratings for each episode?
The puppet has a right to rate things. No, tonight you get no ratings from me because I didn't do my homework. I'm here for the news.
To be fair,
I didn't know I was going to be on today. I thought I said I wasn't going to be on. Then he invited me. I'm like, I want to be on anyway.
I want to spend the evening. Okay.
It's okay. Cool. No, it's cool. We've all seen the episode. It's not like you really have to do a lot of research. You can go off your memory.
Wait, no, this is wait, I thought it was the audiobook this time.
It's the audio. It's stranded.
It's the what?
Stranded. It's stranded.
Yeah. Wait, did you not do your homework either?
We're down bad, guys.
You listened to all of it, right?
Aliens of London.
We sorted this out.
That was my fault because I said let's roll for 2 weeks from now.
That's next week.
To be fair,
I did listen to it 3 weeks ago.
That's okay. It'll
if you
be
want
okay.
to do Aliens of London this time, I could do the book next time.
I don't have time to get the thumbnail correct, and I'm not doing a Diary of River song again, and that's not happening.
It's cool. It's cool.
Yeah, I need to rewatch that episode. I think I've actually seen that episode 2 times now, but yeah. But no, you're right. Our always a guest, never a co-host. Landry is correct. It's time for the news. And in the way of news, we don't have much. But what we do have is unfortunate. The first, of course, pretty much right after we taped the last episode, it was announced that, the man who plays Wilf, brought him to life, Bernard Cribbins, sadly passed away.
Not good.
You know, I don't have a soundboard for that, but the only thing I have is this thing. If we could just imagine it's sad. You know what? No. We're praising his life.
Don't!
We're applauding the life he lived. That's what we're doing.
No, I agree. Actually, he led a great life, and he deserves applause for it. That's not a terrible idea. I agree.
But to hear that Bernard Cribbins has sadly passed away, clapping doesn't vibe well. In awe, we could all go awe. Yes, Ed Brewer, not Will. Will.
No, it's like in the same boat as the Queen. You know, when the Queen dies, we're all gonna be like, she lived a good life. Not gonna be sad because she died, because she's the longest reigning monarch of all time. So,
not if you ask Christopher Eccleston.
Christopher Eccleston will be
applauding for a different reason. What he'd say.
Yeah, he will be clapping for not your reason.
So obviously, it is very sad. He's lived a nice long life, though. But I still think, and people were talking about this, and they have takes of varying sizes. I still think, because it's been leaked. If you don't want leaks, I don't know why you're on a Doctor Who news stream. But
yeah, Landry.
He's going to be in one of the 60th specials, and that might be the last performance. No, it is. It's the last performance ever see of his, but it's one that we're definitely going to appreciate.
I'm disappointed I haven't seen more people talking about his first appearance in Doctor Who being the second Doctor Who movie.
Peter Cushing?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't Peter Cushing.
I've seen a few. I've seen a few people bring it up.
Okay, that's good. I haven't seen anyone talk about that. I'm like,
And I think I've shared it once or twice.
that might be the only place I would have seen it. I don't follow much outside of you three. I don't follow a lot of Doctor Who stuff.
The only thing I follow on Twitter is Doctor Who stuff and Lord of the Rings stuff, and that's pretty much it.
There is a guy I started following. I think he's an editor at Random House, and he is making all these custom TARDIS playsets for his action figure line. He has a bigger Doctor Who toy collection than I do, which is saying a lot, because mine is comprehensive as hell. This guy is building these custom TARDISes or whatever interior for the playsets. I'm like, oh my god, this guy is genius.
I saw something recently. There's a person recently broke the world record for most Doctor Who collectibles, and it's I want to say like a teenage lady, and she has like over, I think it was around 10 to 14,000 different things.
As a teenager, her family must have money.
Oh yeah, without it. Well, it might have been 10 to 1,400, something like that.
I don't care.
That's still a lot.
The only thing that I do on Twitter is run a Matt Smith's mom fan account, so that's all we have going there.
You were giving me shit a couple weeks ago for that. You run a Stan account.
It's a joke, Jimmy. But speaking of bad news, this obviously if that news didn't exist, this would be the saddest news that I've heard in a long time. Mark Gatiss says he hasn't been asked to return to Doctor Who. I mean, I'm guessing as a writer. No, screw you, Jimmy.
All right, let's talk about that a second. What are his episodes off the top of our heads here?
All right, he had Idiot's
Sleep
Lantern.
No More.
He had Idiot's Lantern, Victory of the Daleks, the Lazarus Experiments,
Sleep No More.
Sleep No More, and
there you go.
No, there's more. Did he have Fear Her? Was that him? Was that Mark Roberts?
No, I don't think that was.
Did you say Victory of the Daleks?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll look up his.
He had one in every season up until I can't remember. Oh, what was
Here we go. I got the
Dr.
list.
Falls.
Let's hear Chris's list.
He's got The Unquiet Dead, Idiot's Lantern,
Oh, that's good.
Victory of the Daleks, Night Terrors, Cold War, The Crimson Horror, Robot of Sherwood, Sleep No More, and Empress of Mars.
Fuck, these are horrible episodes, except for one.
I liked Empress of Mars. I liked Cold War. I liked that Sherwood one fine. I enjoyed that.
Are you kidding me, Landry?
I like those.
It's fun.
Particularly Empress
He
of Mars.
was fencing with the spoon.
Yes, that's great.
Very Doctor Who.
Yes. Every day that we stream, every day that we do, every time we do one of these streams, it just makes me more and more glad that Chris has decided to bring Landry in, because he has so many right opinions when it comes to Doctor Who. Look at it. Victory of the Daleks.
Cold War is truly the only one I go, you know what? I really like that episode.
I like Cold War a lot.
Lazarus Experiment, I think, is just okay. Victory of the Daleks, I think, is above okay. It's just, it will suffice.
I wish I could really remember Empress of Mars. It's just been so long.
It's the Peter Capaldi one, right?
Yeah.
Yes. But when you have Victory No More, Victory of the Daleks, Sleep No More, you've got some really solid episodes in there, and there's just such a tone to it that gives a good feeling, a good Who feeling sometimes.
So, the best 2 seasons of Doctor Who of all time.
You want me to name them?
It's season 4. Not a single goddamn episode was written by Mark Gatiss.
That's just not true. Lazarus Experiment is in season 3.
Oh God!
But he didn't write it. He starred in it.
Oh, okay. Well, you listed it, didn't you?
No,
I did.
Jimmy did.
I did. I thought.
Okay.
I thought it.
He just assumed because Gatiss is in it that he wrote.
Yeah.
No, he just
No,
starred.
He normally does. He normally does star in the ones he's in. Yeah, Peter Capaldi's final episode.
The thing
But
that
he didn't write that.
You did?
That was all Moffat.
Explains why it's good.
the thing that I like about both Empress and Cold War and what Gaddis does with the Ice Warriors, it touches back on what we were talking about Peladon last time I was on last week, in that the Ice Warriors are in a rarefied space in Doctor Who where they are neither bad guys or good guys. They are just as flawed as humans, and they can be good or bad depending on the circumstances. And Gatiss did a really good job of keeping them in that place and really and not just turning them into villains, which would have been very easy to do. And if anything, built on the ideas we saw, especially in the Peladon episodes, where they are, complex characters, the complex race. That's nice to see.
No, I agree, and I hope that he does get to come back and write. I need that Sleep No More sequel. There's supposed to be a Sleep No More sequel. I need to see where it goes. Jeez.
I can answer that for you. No, we don't. It's dog shit. Get over it. Okay.
Jimmy, don't hold back.
Underrated. Underrated. And now pretty much what we have are memes. Jimmy has sent me a bunch of videos that we will now share with you. They are not long, so hopefully YouTube doesn't try to smash down on.
Oh wait, no. Did you see the video I sent you also from Neil Patrick Harris being on The View?
Yeah, but I can't play a whole View interview.
Yeah, you can.
No, I can't.
As long as we react to it by just talking through it, we're okay.
So
and if anything,
no one can hear it because we're talking over it.
That's
if
very
anything,
risky.
we can just
Why
say
don't you act it out for us, Jimmy?
That's right, Jimmy. Go ahead. Just tell us how it went. You watched it, right?
Yeah, he just sits there like this talking to Whoopi Goldberg, and Whoopi Goldberg was basically saying, yeah, I've been saying for a while that I wanted to be the Doctor. It's not going to happen anymore. I'm too tired. Now we're getting Shudigatwa, and we hear Neil Patrick Harris that you're going to be the greatest villain the Doctor's ever faced. And he was like, yeah, can we talk about it? Turns out that picture of Neil Patrick Harris as the Celestial Toymaker was just a selfie that he took on his phone that RTD basically said, we don't really want it to leak anywhere, so do you just want to throw it up on Instagram? And he said, sure, and that's it. But turns out he's saying Shudigatwa is a great doctor. He's a really great person. He loves working with him, which makes me think, holy shit, we're probably going to see Neil Patrick Harris do something with Shudigatwa and not just David Tennant.
I mean, hopefully. Yeah.
I am just going to say that I mean Shudigatwa, I'm pretty sure he himself is gay, and so most people are using that.
My understanding is he has never disclosed his, how he defines himself. So we don't.
I think he has.
Yeah.
It would have to be very recent if he did.
No,
Huh.
he doesn't actually say X, Y, or Z. It's to the Doctor, it's trivial. It doesn't really matter.
But to be fair, that would not surprise me because I have been looking at RTD's history, of writing this past 10 years, and majority of it had LGBTQ storylines.
Did you say Russell T Davies is known for doing?
I know that's crazy.
Wow.
Water wet.
I can't believe you, Jimmy.
Next, you're gonna say Brian Michael Bendis uses too many fucking words.
No, we can't go down that train again. We did that last week.
Yeah.
No,
Focus this
no.
week.
But to be fair,
I want to. I think the new Lord of the Rings has rings in it.
No, it doesn't.
No rings?
No, it doesn't.
The Things of Power, it's called.
You know what's funny? The Rings of Power, from what I hear, there's no actual rings in the first season.
There shouldn't be. That's fine.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be leading up to the creation of the rings.
But
the fall of Numenor.
Anyway.
But with RTD and like the Doctor being gay, I don't think that will be a big deal because RTD's a masterful writer. He'll know how to handle it. Also, the Doctor, I think, shouldn't fall in love anymore anyways, because we see that I was okay with it, but now we see it too often.
I never liked it. I never once liked it. I liked it anytime they did it. I didn't like when they did it with Rose.
I will say the most
Capaldi was
natural...
the only one that got away because they already had River Song, so they just used that to tie up River Song's arc. But that was it.
See, River Song is one of the few exceptions when it's okay because she's already against the Doctor's timeline.
She's also
she's a natural.
I agree.
I agree.
River Song is the only place. I don't mind it if the Doctor. I don't mind it if it's one of his own people, and I don't care if that person. At that point, I don't care what the Doctor's sexual preference is. I just prefer him to be involved. I'd like to explore more. I want Susan to come back. I mean, we know the Doctor has been married and has had kids before. Like, that's established. So obviously the Doctor. But I really liked that the Tenant Doctor established. Yeah, you're not a Time Lord. It doesn't work.
Well, here's the thing. I think Moffat screwed up a little bit with River Song. River Song was two different versions of herself before we see her as River Song. We saw her as the child in Day of the Moon and Astronaut, and we see her as the friend of Amy and Rory and Mel's and Let's Kill Hitler. Now here's the thing. Now this goes back all the way to I think Tom Baker. He sees other Time Lords, even if they've regenerated, he knows who they are. They have a familiarity of just like,
Runcible.
Runcible. The last time they saw each other, they were in the academy together, and
they had some work
done. Exactly. So like, he should know kind of who the person is based off that. Yet he didn't notice that before.
That whole thing, though, is just kind of here or there, because there are times that, oh yes, I should be able to recognize you. I've been around your energy, Missy, which I guess you could say Moffat, but sure, fine. But there's a whole episode in the time in the Ronnie where the Ronnie is dressed as Mel, and the Doctor is unable to tell anything. Sure, you could say
regeneration.
Yeah, regeneration antics. No.
Before anyone says Derek Jacobi's master, he was an entirely different species. There you go.
And as soon as Tennant stepped through that door and looked at him after he had opened the watch, he knew who it was.
Yep.
He knew immediately. And that was it.
That's why.
Yeah, but still, I still say it feels here or there because
his River Song, he should remember and kind of be familiar with who.
But he never met her before. He only knew the form of River Song.
That's not the point. That's not the point. The point is, even if they change.
Wait, I see it because he would recognize her at any point past the first time he's met her in her timeline, but he would not recognize her.
I don't believe that.
I don't believe that. Is one way it could work.
Because I don't believe that because he's a Time Lord and he can travel through time and space. It wouldn't matter. How many times do you think he's seen a different master and recognized him?
I do love that by the way, he recognizes the war chief immediately as a Time Lord, and I still maintain that master. But that's another
topic. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to say there's also the case of River Song giving up all of her regeneration energy for 11, and thus seeing her before doesn't really match up because he hadn't seen her with regeneration energy at all for how long. So I mean, she is this nebulous zone that we could dig into, and that's why I love her character so much. There's just a lot to her. But to go ahead and with her,
when she give up all of her regeneration energy to
Matt Smith when he's
just a hand though. It was
no.
In other way around.
Kill Hitler.
Oh, that's right. Let's kill Hitler. That's right.
Yeah.
Just after she regenerates into that body, she gives up all her regeneration energy. A thing established at least as far back as the 5th Doctor.
And it makes sense that, to me, it always made sense because she is not like a natural Time Lord. The limit itself is unknown because they don't even really know how she particularly works. But they know she can regenerate until giving all that up to save his life. And it's just such a gesture, and it fits so. It fits for me. I love River Song so much. And Capaldi at that point of his character, losing Clara and having River Song there, it allowed him to open up to such a level that we were unable to see before. And that leads to Series 10, which...
River does not recognize the Capaldi Doctor either.
Yes. That's...
Yeah, well, to be fair, she gave up all of her energy. So I that could be a thing where she doesn't have like.
Plus, she only has pictures of every face before 12. She doesn't know that he got another set.
Yeah, because she figures 11 is the final face. She doesn't know there is a beyond. And
I do got to stop everyone here. You know how bloody pissed off I am that we only got one River Song story with Peter Capaldi? That is upsetting. Because they worked so well together.
They got like 23 years.
They were phenomenal.
And
that's the thing. That's the thing. Even with Matt Smith, she said she was insinuating sex. And then he said, "Ooh, really?" And then she goes, maybe when you're older. He regenerated older for River Song.
Well, they did spend a long time together.
Yeah, sure. They did spend, what was it?
500 years or something.
24 years.
No.
A single night.
Yep. A single night.
She still does not age like a human then, I'm going to say.
No, she ages slower.
She ages slower because she's part-time Lord. She said that in an episode. I don't remember.
Even though she's given up her regeneration energy, she still is what she is.
Well, she still has small traces of it. I mean, you saw in at Time of Angels Take Manhattan, where she fixed Matt. Oh no, Matt did it to him. That's right. Never mind. Matt did it to her. My bad.
Matt. And I guess, see, that's another detail that I actually recall.
How much did he give her?
Remember what it was from. Oh, well, it doesn't matter because giving to him was it didn't matter. It was to save his life, to save that face, but that's supposed to be his last face, and that's why.
Yeah, well, I mean, this gets into a problem I really have with the Moffat season. I'm going to tell you this. The whole idea that 11 was the last Doctor infuriated me very, very badly, considering I had been waiting since I was 12 years old to see what would happen when the Doctor ran out of regenerations, to see him suddenly become mortal. It's so clear Moffat did not plan it. He did not plan it. And he, at the end, he's like, what if this is the last Doctor? Because I want to write the last Doctor. I have no problem with the Doctor having a final life. I have no problem with the Doctor being granted a new set of regenerations, but it should have been from the get-go.
I disagree to a level because I don't think he was actually wanting to write that 11 was the last. I think when we talk about the 50th anniversary special, there's a clear blueprint. He couldn't get 8, and he wasn't allowed to get 8, and 9 wouldn't return, so he had to make the War Doctor. But that adds another face.
Tennant's second Doctor, though. He didn't have to count it.
I mean, maybe he just counted that in his mind, which
also
makes
the Fugitive
sense to me.
Doctor,
It's a different,
which makes 13.
The Fugitive Doctor is in Chibnall's era, which is a travesty.
It still counts. It still.
Well,
at the time of like leading up to Time of the Doctor, before Chibnall took over, they did the whole like meta crisis, and War Doctor adds it up to 11 being the last.
It fits in my mind how Capaldi is essentially one again, and I think that's a part of the brilliance of the character. And
I still would love to see Capaldi regenerate back into one.
Now, here's the thing: if at the last, if Moffat and Chris Chibnall were smart, and Chris Chibnall was still dead set on the Timeless Child, they could have pulled it off. I still would have hated it. They could have pulled it off better than what they gave us. If we really got that moment, like Landry's saying, Peter Capaldi being the last Doctor. Is this my last face? And then when he dies, he regenerates again. And he goes, this should not happen. Yeah, this should not happen. Because I'm a timer.
Yeah.
Leading into it would have made it better. I still don't like the story, but it would have worked.
I mean, that I don't like how you go ahead. If Moffat and Chibnall were smart, because Chibnall did not clue Steven in on his plans. He didn't clue anyone in on
that's
this.
The thing. That's
Come on.
No, that's the thing. When a new showrunner takes over, the last season of the previous showrunner has to leave clues leading up to his show, his future season. Yeah, that's what happened with Moffat with River Song. That's what happened. That's
because Moffat and RTD actually know how to work together, whereas Chibnall cut everybody from the previous seasons to have his own little.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying if they were smart and worked together, they could have led it into something genuinely better.
That's assuming Moffat would have wanted to. He was done. He didn't even want to do that Christmas special. He came back and did.
No, he didn't want to do the last season, season 10.
But he also didn't want to do the Christmas special. He was not going to until he learned that Chris Chibnall was going to get rid of them. What?
12 Beats First?
The Christmas special. What was the Christmas special?
First.
Twice Upon a Time.
Oh, that's right. That was a brilliant. Never mind. It doesn't matter.
That's what I'm saying. That's where I want to see at the end of that, the 12th Doctor, because of that weird meeting, accidentally regenerates back into the first Doctor, and then we had one season of that guy as the first Doctor,
David Bradley,
and then they could do whatever.
Oh my God, David Bradley would be amazing.
Well, that's essentially what's going to happen with RTD's 10, his new 10. Go 10.
We don't know that.
It's happening.
Stop pushing that dumb idea. It's not happening.
It's going to happen.
Every time you make a prediction, it doesn't happen.
What if David Tennant isn't in it at all? And it's all just like
it's a huge prank.
They're gonna pull a Batgirl and just cancel it.
Oh, shut your damn mouth! That's another conversation.
Isn't Tennant just his own severed hand? Well,
so
one of them is, yeah.
So here's the thing: Tennant's hand was cut off, yes, and saved, preserved. When Tennant was shot by a Dalek, he was starting to regenerate, but to essentially heal his own body, and he had that conduit, which was being held by Donna, and gave birth to a whole new second Doctor, but this one was human, using Donna's internal biology. Yep, there we go. That's a whole nother life. So it makes sense to me that would take a regeneration. It does not
make sense even to this day. I still don't like the
idea. Makes sense to me.
No, it doesn't make. Why would if he can if he can regenerate and not change his face, why wouldn't he have done that the entire time? And
he didn't regenerate.
You're so damn sure Colin Baker's Doctor would not have done that. He didn't want to change his face. He's too stubborn to do that.
They never had something to anchor that energy.
It doesn't.
They
matter.
never had a severed hand.
He's still mid regeneration.
he was starting to regenerate, and he was able to pretty much shift the energy straight into the hand. And
Something
because,
that's not
like I
connected to
said,
him.
with Donna, and that's why Donna, it has his DNA. What do you mean it's not
but
connected
it's still
to him?
not connected to him. It's not a part of his body.
That's why it used Donna as a base to.
That hand was alive. Like, it wasn't dead tissue. It didn't rot. It's still his hand. It's just not connected anymore. He can't control it, but it's still a living hand.
Yeah. I don't believe it said it was living hand. It ever said that.
I mean,
it was a preserved hand.
It was a preserved, but that's still not the point. The point is, if he wanted to just get all that energy out and not change his face and just do it to, I don't know, just another Time Lord, just give it energy to another living Time Lord, he can do that.
That Time Lord wouldn't
That's
have
not what happened.
That'd be a different being.
Fine. Every time he regenerates, cut off his hand.
I mean, that would be one way to do it. Yeah.
That makes no sense.
He didn't. He wasn't thinking of doing that, and
that makes no sense.
That hand moment is only because he was able to grow a new one. He was able to lose that hand because he had just freshly regenerated. The cells were still setting.
The moment the doctor grew a new hand, I thought that's not a good idea. Like, then the doctor is invulnerable basically in every regeneration episode. That alone was a problem if you want to go with it. But you know what? It was enjoyable. It felt good, and I liked it. But it's a terrible idea to have the doctor basically be, he could go through all sorts of things while he's regenerating. He could be shot multiple times and probably be fine. He's superhuman.
No.
He's Wolverine at that one.
No, he's not like the idea.
That's that.
He cannot change his face when he regenerates just because a piece of him is sitting over there in a jar. I hate that idea.
I enjoyed the episode. I don't like the mythology of it. I agree with you. I don't. It is something. It's like the Admiral Holdo maneuver in Star Wars. It's like, why doesn't they? You're right. Why don't they do that all the time? Cut off a hand, put it in a jar, save it for the next time they die, funnel it off. But then they might end up with an extra version of themselves, like the Doctor did, which could be a problem.
But that was only. See, but that was only because it had Donna. Donna was the key component of that. Donna having that hand is what made
no.
10-2 was human.
She didn't hold the hand while he was putting the energy in it. It was only after when she touched it. That's when it happened.
I will say it does in an interesting and kind of concerning question. What would have happened if Donna hadn't touched it? What would have happened if, say, that hand is there?
Oh my God!
All this regeneration energy, waiting to turn into a person. What if Davros had touched it, stolen the time, it became the Davros Doctor? All sorts of things could happen there.
Then he would have truly became the hybrid. God damn it! We could have got that.
God.
Had Davros running around like a regenerated Davros in a David Tennant body.
That'd be beautiful.
That'd be great.
Being able to regenerate from a small part is how they explain Luke clone in the Star Wars series of books. Obviously not considered canon, but
in the Timothy Zahn novels, but they did use an enormous amount of machinery to do it, and he didn't share Luke's mind the same way. He wasn't quite the same person.
So here's the thing, that's ridiculous. Wolverine going into a full body from a single drop of blood. That's ridiculous. And that's not what is happening in the episode. The episode we're describing. I can't remember the title of the one before Journey's End.
It's a Dallas.
Stolen Earth.
Stolen Earth. Yes. So in Stolen Earth, when that moment happens, he's regenerating right then, and start of Journey's End, it does anchor to that hand. That hand itself cannot regenerate. It needed Donna's biological data to make another form. giving the regeneration energy something to focus upon
It
and
somebody's
create.
biological data, and Donna happened to be
Yes,
there.
yes.
But I will say the Wolverine example is actually closer than you think, because Wolverine was being bathed in some kind of like cosmic energy at the time that he did get destroyed down to 1 drop of blood, but because he was supercharged, every cell in his body was supercharged to such this degree that it allowed him to regenerate from 1 drop of blood. I mean, then how the hell did the metal in his adamantium, how'd that come back? They never explained that, because it came back with it. Whatever.
Comics.
Yeah,
Hey, comics. Don't blame comics. Blame comic book writers.
Yes. I was only kidding. All right. Now
I'm
we
not.
were supposed to be looking at memes.
Oh yeah.
And speaking of Shooty, like we were, Chloe goes ahead. She has this. If I can get this to properly work.
He's dead, but he's not dead. He's alive. I thought he was dead, but he's not dead. He's alive.
I love it.
I just have a feeling we're gonna get a great doctor. He's just the most.
Oh yeah,
lovable
he's got
person.
energy. He's got so much energy.
So you could apply that to any Doctor Who villain. It'd still be the same. The Daleks.
I thought he died.
I thought he was dead. He's not dead.
That's right.
But it works so well with the Master because we've seen him die so many times.
So many
Oh,
times. And
Here-
majority of the
here
time,
we
it's
still
not,
have
just
no-
not explained.
We still have no idea how Sasha Dewan's Master comes back from the Master killing Missy.
I don't think we need to. I don't like them when they always explain
yes, we
Master
do.
comes back. We don't always need to know.
We do
How'd he
have
come back?
an explanation.
How'd he come back?
In series 2 of Missy, Missy meets a future version of herself called the Lumiat, who tries to be purely good, and she reveals that Missy.
It's the
essentially
Valyard, but for the Master.
She actually does point that out. She points out she's just essentially the Valyard for the Master, but she points out Missy used an illegal like Time Lord like technique where she just breaks her body down to atoms and then just recreate herself with a new regeneration, which I think is just that's very convoluted. But she triggered regeneration. Yeah, she triggered a regeneration and wanted to prove to the Doctor she could be purely good. So that became the Lumiat. The Lumiat thought it was a good idea. I'm going to go back in time and make sure Missy becomes good earlier than intended. It ends up with Missy killing her and leaving her to regenerate. And she says, I don't think our next person, our next form, is going to share your good-hearted nature. And it's very much implied to be the Sasha Dewan Master, because he goes back to being evil for the sake of evil.
I liked Sasha Dewan's Master, I've got to say. I really did. I know a lot of people may not agree.
I liked him half the time.
See,
There were
I
moments where
don't.
he
I
was
don't.
just way over the top and sort of like the Joker.
I love the way over the topness. It reminded me. There was something Anthony Ainley liked about him in a way that I liked.
Just
See,
he's just a villain. He's just there to be evil.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm pure bad.
it's hard to judge him because the fact is that he's written so poorly. Yes,
I
his
don't
performance is over
like
the
his.
top.
I do not like his reasoning for killing the Time Lords. It's so
Oh my
dumb.
God.
Oh, the Doctor is the timeless child and is the basis for our regeneration. I'm going to go kill my own people because of that. Like, you have like 20 million other reasons to hate Time Lords, but that's the one you're going for to
That's the
finally
one.
kill them.
Yes, they're fascists, but the Doctor's a part of me, and I hate
What
it.
about-
so therefore I'm killing you?
What about the whole they engineered your entire life to be crazy?
Yep.
Are we going to
That
forget
alone.
that? That alone is enough of a reason to hate his own people and just
Which
go out of
we
his way
saw
to kill people.
explored at was in the end of time. Which episode was
Yeah,
it?
End of Time.
End
Yeah.
of Time. We saw that explored wonderfully in that one.
Yeah. And then there was a book that explores it even more. Like, as soon as he was taken back to Gallifrey, he kills Rassilon. He shoves all of those diamonds down his throat and forces him to regenerate.
That shouldn't happen though, because Rassilon at that time should have been immortal.
I don't think we should have ever seen Rassilon manifested in a person, like just running the Time Lords like that. I like him in the past, but I know it's a big part of audiobooks and stuff. But I like the idea of Rassilon as like a godlike figure in the Time Lord society. Like,
here's the thing.
Oh my god.
I 100% agree with you. But they could have done it right. Not the hell-bent BS that we got that just threw him in there, kind of like, oh,
let's not have this
Palpatine's back,
conversation.
but we wonder how does Palpatine back?
I mean,
never gets explained. No.
Okay.
So hold on. I'm still talking. So I don't like that. Build it up. If Rassilon is coming back, spend a season of just building that up because Rassilon is coming back. The Immortal is coming back.
It's the biggest deal there is.
He was already back.
Deals.
He was already back.
How?
The whole point was that he was alive for the Time War, which is what they saved Gallifrey from. He was already there. He wasn't revived for that episode. He was already back for he was a player in the Time War. So he is not the matter to focus upon.
So,
well,
here's
the thing. He's Rassilon. He is the biggest matter to focus on.
He's not. And that's the whole point.
I mean, you got to listen to the Gallifrey series to really explore like how important it is he is back and how much of a threat he is to not only the Daleks but to Romana. He's the biggest obstacle.
Because at that time she was running for president, right?
At that time, no, she wasn't president anymore, but she still had sway. But bringing Rassilon back in was like the biggest, like in her eyes, detriment to their society.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And then he regenerated again and became Thorin Oakenshield, and he was a crazy thought of himself as a god. He had a full on angry conversation with the Dalek Emperor because the Dalek Emperor is like, I am the god of all Daleks. It's like, no, you're not. I'm God. I'm Rassilon the Immortal. I'm a god. You are just a pretender. I'm like, give me more of this, Rassilon.
That all sounds great.
Yeah, but I'm just going.
The Time War. I mean, he's going to be in the War Room series, but yeah, it's in the Time War series.
But that leans into his role in the Time War, yes, but this is after the Time War, and that's the conversation we had 3 weeks ago now. Here's a meme. Get out of here. Yes, Doctor. And it says, might have watched Doctor Who.
That's just great.
That's fun.
He's my favorite. He's my favorite Big Finish Doctor. I think he aged with as fine wine.
Well,
absolutely,
except for his
great.
Voice, but anyway.
His voice.
No, I think I didn't like it at first, but now I can't hear anything else besides that kind of Doctor.
Sylvester McCoy does not sound like he's aged at all.
Exactly.
When he does Big Finish.
He was 59 when he was doing Doctor Who.
Yeah, how old was he when he was Doctor?
No, he's not. That was not his real age. He was like 30 something.
No, but you see, Colin Baker and Peter Davidson, their voices have aged since then. You can easily tell. I think actually 4 has one of those voices where you really have to look for the age most of the time.
It depends on the line delivery. If it's like him crying out for someone, it's like, okay, yeah, I can tell. It. He's old. But if it's regular dialogue, it's like I'm still watching like a classic.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. The one that's aged the most is obviously the first Doctor. He sounds like a completely different person.
he sounds like two different people.
2 different actors at this point.
I don't hear Richard Kirkman's voice in there at all.
No, I think Tom Baker's curator has a slightly different tilted voice, which I really like, especially in Stranded.
That's going to come up.
How's
she going out?
Now click on it. Click on it.
What?
The actual like tweet itself.
Yeah, the
On
actual
the picture? Or...
No, the tweet,
No,
not the picture.
what?
Oh.
We've seen that.
Well, he's in there
Still-
anyway, but
It's already there on the side. Oh,
Right there.
4-star party.
You could take it to one of them special facilities. Have you guys seen Years and Years by Russell T
I have
Davies?
no idea what this reference is.
no.
Oh my god. Okay.
You got
okay.
3 people to like your tweet, though.
Okay. Well, I mean, cool. Russell T Davies wrote a show called Years and Years. It's on HBO Max. Check it out. Absolutely freaking amazing. This person becomes prime minister and has camps set up for any refugees. And so I just said, oh, Russell T Davies coming back. He's going to bring back the true villain. Her.
Okay. That's
Dude,
Dan,
you guys-
Dan
you
is
guys should
Dan has
really-
definitely had enough.
Yeah. Dan,
Dan's had
What's
enough.
he's gonna go to the doctor and be like, what's the point of living? Hits it with a pan, with a wok.
what's the point of being alive?
What's the point of being alive?
What's the point of being alive? Let's go ahead and show the last. We only have one more, and I think Jimmy, you are right.
Jimmy said we had to see this one. Well,
Yes.
put this one on
Have
the
you guys
screen.
seen it yet? Have you guys seen it?
I've seen it.
I have
Oh,
the
I saw this.
the doctor in the waters of Mars.
What rules, you sons of bitches? Rules, you sons of bitches.
That's
What
it.
rules, you son?
What
They
roles, you
summed
sons
up
of
the
bitches?
ending. What roles?
Time Lord Victorious.
I have no rules.
Oh man.
But that's pretty much all we had because we had no news. But somehow we've still managed to go about 46 minutes. I don't understand. But that brings us to our topic. Stranded. Yes. So Stranded box set for the first one from Big Finish. 8th Doctor's with his 2 companions, and they're stuck on Earth, and they
3.
live in a house that has been transferred into a bunch of flats.
3 companions, right?
2.
No, 2. Live in Helen.
What about the person? Oh no, never mind.
They just
That
live
was
in the flat.
that was the undercover person from Torchwood. I was thinking, my bad. This is one of my favorite box sets I've listened to, only because I think it's modernized. Think about Landry. Remember when John Pertwee when he first regenerated into the 3rd Doctor? It was he's stranded, can't get into his TARDIS. Time Lord say you are stuck here on Earth. It's like that, but with a modernized take with the 8th Doctor. Oh man, it is absolutely really drawn out, but I think it actually makes it better because it makes it feel like a modern.
I would say for the
modern
entirety of
drama.
Stranded, that's a problem I have with the entirety of the 4 box sets, is that it is a concept that went on for too long, but I still enjoy a lot of the stories.
I still really like it, and I think I'm gonna I hope it stays for as long as it can, because I want to see how's the Doctor gonna stay on Earth.
I mean, there's 3 more box sets. It's done.
Yeah, it's over.
It's the last of the 8th Doctor 4 box set arcs.
So, I'm going to go ahead and say that it's okay. A lot of this is just okay to me. The 8th Doctor in this, for me, feels very much belittled. He's stuck on Earth. He's stuck on Earth, yes. But unlike the 3rd Doctor, who has, Unit needs my help. He's not allowed to deal with Torchwood in this series because Torchwood is in his future. He has nothing. It's by chance, pretty much, that an alien species pops up at the end of this box set. And it's just the second story, Wild Animals, is just, it was truly one of the worst stories for me because it's just drama. It's just random drama.
Oh.
I'm sorry,
I
it just is.
I wouldn't say Wild Animals is the worst. Like I don't outright hate it, but the third story is the one I dislike the most.
But the third story for me felt it gelled into the fourth so well that it kind of hooked into it for me, where it had actual mystery going on. Whereas the second story is, oh no, somebody's shot and now somebody's mad. I don't. That's not what I was looking for. The first had such
not just setup. Somebody. His companion was shot.
Okay,
of course,
but also Sanjay. Is Sanjay's name Sanjay?
Sanjay was the shop, the store owner.
Yeah, that's who I'm really talking about. Yes, his companion was shot, but dealing with that,
let's forget about the main problem. Why he's upset for a minute. Yeah, okay. This person was shot over here.
No, the main problem that he's upset.
Don't look at his companion who's also laying on the ground being shot. Don't look over there. But this guy over here, I don't know why people are upset.
She was already fine. She was already healing. The main problem for him was the fact that he had nothing. He whines about being stuck on Earth so much, and the third Doctor did too, but the third Doctor was actually able to do things.
The 11th Doctor did the exact same thing with powers of 3. And that's what you saw. Amy and Rory were getting fed up with it.
That's a Chibnall episode. That's sacrilege.
Still a damn good episode. I like it.
With that, being bored for an episode is fine, but I had to listen through 4 hours of it. So what am I supposed to do with it?
He made most of the life he had there once he got settled in. You saw him go onto the game show of like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire sort of thing and win $1 million.
Well, he didn't win $1 million, but
yeah, he did. It was £1 million.
No, it was a little less than that. But anyway, no, it was 80,000. But yeah, no, and he goes ahead and takes that. Yes, he won that. He decides, you know what I'll do? I'm going to go every week, and I'll just earn enough to go ahead and just buy tech companies to fix my TARDIS. That doesn't feel like the Doctor's idea to me, ever. The Doctor would never have an idea like that. And by the end, his TARDIS is semi-back, because before it was just an empty box, which has some promise of where they could go, but there's nowhere they can go.
It was okay. It's not really fully back. It's just not dead anymore because it was feeding off the energy from the aliens.
Yes. So
it's not fully back yet.
That's what I'm saying. It's not truly back, but it's actually has hope now. And when you have that, yes, that's fine. But the 8th Doctor in this did not feel like the Doctor. And I've been listening to other 8th Doctor adventures. And to deal with, he's sad. I want him.
Hate to break it to you, man, but the 8th Doctor never feels like the Doctor.
That's not true. It's not true. I like 8th Doctor.
It's a little low.
I can. Chris told me that the 7th Doctor is not happy with his 8th face because he thinks he's too much of a pacifist, truly, and not willing to do what needs to be done when grave matters come. I would have to agree with 7 in this box set because it's just wrong. It's not a Doctor Who audio drama until the very end and the beginning, but in the middle it just slumps. It drops. It's really hard for me to enjoy it.
No, here's the thing. It's a Doctor Who story with the Doctor with outside. Okay, did you listen to the podcast afterwards with the writers and directors?
In the first story. Only the first, because after the second, I did not want to hear what they had to say.
I loved them all. I listened to every single one. But they basically said, what happens when you take the Doctor out of Doctor Who?
Okay.
And that's kind of like, okay, we get the Doctor outside of like the aliens and stuff like that for the most part. And what do we get?
He becomes a little bitch. Okay, I get it.
A weird, funky character in a totally different world. How does this alien live in this world when he's thousands of years ahead of them?
And
he
also,
kind of
oh no, continue, Jimmy.
I lost it. Go ahead.
That's all right. Also, adding to the fact, the Eighth Doctor is an adventurer. He can't really stay in one place. So him being grounded, and it's again not his choice, I think really helps with the whole like him being more bitchy, like him being just he wants to do something, but he can't. He has to just wait or acclimatize to the possibility that maybe the TARDIS can't be fixed this time, even though we know it's obviously going to be repaired. But I think that kind of works well. It's just and this is just mainly because I've listened to all of Stranded. It just delves more into the problem with Stranded with that it goes on for too long. And I think that's why in future box sets they decided, okay, let's start bringing back the Doctor Who stuff, more of the Doctor Who stuff that you know and love in this story, and not try to do the entire thing of just exiled on Earth, Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah. Now here's something cool. Here's something really cool I really liked with it. They introduced a character. One of his companions is from 400 years in the future, I believe. 2400.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And she ends up being in a romantic relationship with a trans character who wasn't revealed to be trans until I want to say like near the end of that first time that he meets her. That same one, I want to say like box set 2.
I think it's the second story.
Yeah.
She goes to check on. She goes to check on Liv and reveals that she's transgender.
And it's really cool because they kind of made it so where we liked the character and then revealed the bombshell. And then we're trying to figure out because like they live in the present now. So like people, I want to say in our today and age, we're still what's the word? Normalizing trans people into our society, still normalizing that. And so she's from 2400. That has already been way in the past of normalized. Therefore, when she told Liv, I'm horrible with names.
Yeah, Liv.
Yes,
Liv. Liv was like, water wet. I don't see the problem. Like, it was like a shock to her system. It was really cool to see that because it's not just like another one of those today stories like, oh, I'm not sure how I feel about that. That's weird. Stuff like that. No, we got to see a person from the future be like, okay, I think it was kind of cool.
I mean, that is a normal thing in Doctor Who, where you have a character that is from the future. Even the Doctor themselves, they'll say, oh, well, that's because you're bogged down by time. We don't really care about that. We're in Gallifreyan society. Who cares? But with that, but the problem is it's surrounded in an episode that exists. And that's what it feels like, that they were trying to make it so that the Doctor, yes, he's stranded. He doesn't have anything to do. You know what was more interesting for me? The third episode. Because the third episode, you have that same character, but the big bombshell with her is that she's actually working with Torchwood, and she has to dance around the Doctor and make sure, because they've been waiting for the Doctor to return.
They reveal that in 2. They reveal that in 2.
No, they reveal that in 3. I
Chris,
just listened to it today.
I feel like was Andy?
Because she was working with that other dude and talking to each other all of 2.
In the second episode, all she does is sit around to tell Liv, hey, I want to go on a date with you. Nothing is revealed about her inner life until other than the fact that she's transsexual, until episode 3, when it's revealed she works with Torchwood and they have to dance around the Doctor. And I'm sorry for spoiling these facts to you, Landry, but this is
fascinating. Learning
it's going to be. Yeah, when you listen to it, you're going to hear, and that's something that's interesting. Hearing the curator in the first episode, that's interesting because
that's what
he is not allowed.
he revealed that he's not allowed to see the 8th Doctor yet. Also, that he told Torchwood they're not allowed to see the Doctor yet, and she was part of it. But then again, okay, it's whatever. Keep going.
Yeah, but no, I was saying the curator, he also has to deal with the fact, okay, this isn't supposed to be happening. Something's wrong, but I'm going to try to help out from the outside if I can, but I can't get directly involved. And that's why I can't remember the side character's name. Clive, something like that, or is that the actor? But he has dealings with the curator and the doctor, and that dynamic is fun. There's something to that. And at the end of the first episode, when the curator is pretty much telling the two companions, look after him, will you? He's going to need your help. To go from that to go to gas station shoot up, it just did not work for me.
And then bomb.
That was third episode.
I know. That's why I said and then bomb.
But the third episode, that was a cool factor.
Third episode is definitely the best one.
Well, Chris actually said the opposite.
It's okay. I think I just like probably the first two stories a bit more.
I like them all.
It just did not do it for me. I wish I liked this more. I was going into it hoping that there was some kind of dynamic that would shine from that. But the best part about this episode was the doctor who does not take the name the doctor, the curator. And that's sad for me. That's just my feelings, though. Jimmy, do you want to give a ranking on the box set? Or
yes.
Landry, do you want to give your thoughts on what you've heard?
Yes.
Okay, so all right, I do actually. I was thinking about this. Like, I will say, listening to you guys debate it, I'm tremendously intrigued by this. Like the idea of the 8th Doctor being stranded and the way that particular Doctor. I mean, I was thinking about it. The only Doctor I could think of that might deal well with being stranded is the Capaldi Doctor. I cannot really see.
Well, technically, he was for about a couple hundred years.
By kind of choice, but
when was he when he was
series 10 when the
guarding the
ball of the box.
Yeah, exactly. And I was thinking about that, and but it was kind of by choice, and he seemed to acclimate to it reasonably well. He's kind of the most mature Doctor, though. I can't see any of the others quite coping with it, but they'd all cope with it badly in different ways. And seeing how the 8th Doctor would be petulant or whiny about it, I would actually sign on to that. I like that from what I'm gathering, that the trans revelation wasn't like this, oh no, like it was good, but then the Torchwood thing is this, here's a significant revelation about this. It's the same character, right?
By the way,
yep.
Yeah, same character.
Yep.
Their relationship is so beautiful because he wants to be like, I genuinely like this subject, because they call him. They call the person, the people that he's trying to watch out for, the Doctor and their companions. They call him subjects. So he goes, I want to like this person, but then again, I have to make sure my work thinks I'm just doing it for the work. So he's trying to balance that. Oh, it's kind of great, and you see them build trust throughout the box set, which is, yes, it's really good.
The bit about the curator showing up also really intrigued me. So no, I think there's a lot that sounds interesting there. Although that said, it also sounds like it might be one of those things where they've got 2 really solid episodes. They did 3?
4.
They did 4.
But then again, the last 2 are like a half hour each.
It sounds like maybe they could have consolidated down and done something a little sharper, but from just picking up the vibes. But it sounds interesting. That's my take.
Okay, but what's the ranking?
The ranking,
you can't give a ranking.
You can't,
on
because
the interest scale.
All right, Puppet Landry.
Well, that's a 4. Oh wow!
Oh
and
crap!
That puppet said some really. I can't repeat that. No, this puppet is not okay.
You must have listened to Pixel a few times, didn't you? Okay, good job, Puppet. Appreciate you. All right, Chris, what's your ranking?
Jimmy, you have to give the ranking. It's the one that you started talking about first.
I give it an 8. There's a few things that I go, you know what? It could have been a little more quick paced here. I wish there's certain parts where the audio voices you can't really tell who's talking. I saw a couple times that happen. Listened to a couple times of that happen. But besides that, I think it's a fantastic story. I really enjoyed it. This made me like the 8th Doctor way more. And I can't wait for the next box set. So an 8.
Okay. I mean, I guess I'll go ahead since I spoke second. I'm going 6.5. There's quite a bit to like throughout the box set. There are aspects to enjoy, story beats to go ahead and take into account. Yeah, that's good. Oh, that's good. But it's sadly spliced around fluff for me. It just, and some is okay, but when you have most of it like that, I don't know. I don't. Maybe Doctor Who's slice of life isn't my idea of Doctor Who. So 6.5 overall. There are good points, but there's sadly a lot that's just weighing this down for me. Chris.
All right. I would have to give it a 7.5 out of 10. I did enjoy the most of it. There's some parts where I was kind of on. I like the premise of it is essentially just doing the Exile again, but more modernized for the 8th Doctor. I did like the direction they were going with him. Like, this would honestly be how this incarnation of the Doctor would react to being exiled again. It was interesting to see some of like the Torchwood characters come into the story, like Andy, like him essentially because he's the only remnant of Torchwood left. So him being there was very interesting. The addition of Tanya. Tanya is one of my favorite characters from Stranded. She's absolutely amazing. And dealing with the whole transgender thing, I think was done perfectly well. Like, Amen. It wasn't like, it's not her defining trait that she's transgender.
Yep.
And the fact that Liv takes it just like, okay, sure, I like you because you're you. I think that was done really well. So yes, 7.5 out of 10. I enjoyed it.
Okay.
Now, just to be clear, we got a 7.5 from Landry, 7.5 from Chris. Kind of funny how you copy people when you're on the show, Landry. Just throwing that out there. Pixel, what did you say?
I said 6.5.
6.5.
So you're wrong. And then an 8. So I think that's actually kind of an even spread. 6.5, 7.5, 8.
So I don't think you can count mine.
Yeah. His is based off of interest.
Yeah, I am an audience member of the three of you here, and you intrigued me about seeing it, and it was a lot of what Chris said about seeing how this Doctor handles that situation. The situation we've seen the Doctor in before, but not this Doctor, and that was interesting.
Yeah, essentially take someone who loves being in different places, not being grounded, and grounding the hell out of him.
There we go. Well, that's pretty much.
No. We got to stop for 1 second. How do we kick people off this podcast for that horrible pun? Okay, Pixel?
Oh.
Okay.
What pun?
It's in the chat.
He said, "Would a religious cat from New Earth episode with the cat nuns?" He said, "Would a religious cat nurse be considered a Catholic?"
Listen, it's a good question. I mean, it's right there in the name. There's no set. So there you go.
I can't believe it never occurred to me, honestly. That's fair.
You can't be kidding me right meow, Pixel.
I think now they get invited on as a co-host before I do. Official. That pun. I'll sit here waiting.
That's me. That's mine. I have to take full claim of it. So,
that was you.
It was me. Yes.
Yeah. Definitely, no one else is gonna take credit for that.
I thought it was just some random person. If I had known it was you, I wouldn't have supported it.
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Get a ranking on that. That's a 3.
So next week we are going to be reviewing Aliens of London / World War III. Yes, the Slitheen episodes for Doctor Who.
They're good episodes, man. Can't wait to talk about them.
It'll be an interesting conversation. I don't want to say anything right now. I can't. So when we talk about that, it'll be, like I said, next week. Should be 11:30 EST. I don't know the rest of y'all's times. Y'all go work that out for yourself. But you'll have to wait and see. It is
8:30 Pacific Standard Time.
There we go. Make sure to check out the works of Landry Q. Walker, Jimmy's vlogs, and I know Chris has a channel with people
that I don't use.
Okay, what do you do? What's the thing that you do?
Here or on my channel?
Elsewhere.
Elsewhere, I do nothing. I work. That's it.
Okay, I thought you had something. I can't remember what it's called. But he also has a review coming out tomorrow for Diaries of River Song. It's going to be an interesting one. I'm pretty sure there's a story that's supposed to take place, well, after the library. It'll be interesting to hear.
The final story with Proper Dave, aka Ray Bloody Purchase.
Yeah.
We're going to have to wait and see how that goes.
You know what I found out?
Sure
Proper Dave is actually married to the leading lady in IT Crowd.
Yeah.
Really?
I found that out.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I wish I could remember that number by heart. 0118999.
Yeah.
I can't remember all of them, but it's in there. That 2, 3. But that's it for us. Thank you. We'll see you next time. Bye.